Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Crafty Simulations video. You join us on part 2 of our Round the UK via the Coastline Tour 2024. In the first part of the video we flew out of Humberside, our starting airport, and flew up to Newcastle Airport, and in part 2 we'll be flying from Newcastle Airport and we'll be flying up to Edinburgh, which is in Scotland, so we're actually now crossing into another country. So I've got the flight plan programmed up in little nav map. I won't be actually paying too much attention to the flight plan, obviously, because the whole idea of this flight is to fly the coastline. So even though we would be flying, I've got a, like I say, a specific flight plan laid out. It's really more for guidance for myself. We will be joining the flight line though, or flight plan even I should say, a little bit later on in the flight, because it will bring us in to runway 24, yes, runway 24 at Edinburgh. So like I say, at the moment we'll be departing, well, the whole idea is to depart out of Newcastle runway 07. We'll be then heading towards Sierra Alpha Bravo at St. Abbs, if I'm pronounced that right. It's a VOR station. And then heading to Charlie India 24, which is a waypoint outside of Edinburgh's runway, and puts us onto line, onto course for runway 24 into Edinburgh Airport. Now, I have flown this, like all the parts of the video, I am going to fly them off camera to make sure everything works right. So I have flown this already, and it was an interesting flight. Turbulence was a little bit interesting, shall we say, when we did get close to landfall. Obviously, there isn't that much turbulence coming off the water, but there is a heck of a lot of turbulence coming off the land. So it was quite bumpy, but we did make it. Also, you will notice that if you watch part 1, we did have a voice add-on to make my voice sound a little bit like a crew member's radio. I still haven't had a chance to really tweak that, if I'm perfectly honest, so I have taken it out for part 2. It will not be part of this video. Now, I know some of you didn't like it particularly and said maybe it needs tweaking, maybe it needs removing, and I'm in full agreement. I think it definitely does need tweaking, so that at the moment is not going to be in this part, so you're just going to hear the voice as is. Also, I have bought Rex Atmos. Now, a lot of people are raving about Rex Atmos, and I have to say it does make quite a bit of a difference. It does make it look pretty good. So we are running for part 2 Rex Atmos, and we have set up a few little environment tweaks, and yeah, it makes it look a little more realistic. I also run Rex Aki Season as well, so there is also that tweaking going on as well. Rex Atmosphere, or Atmos, is more for atmospheric tweaks, and before I get boring to people to death, I'll just leave it there. So yes, if you're interested in Rex Atmos, definitely have a look at the videos that are popping up on YouTube at the moment of it. It's actually really, really good, and it's brilliantly priced. I think it was something like £9? £12 I think it was. Yeah, £12 for it. I got it for a little bit less because I got it through Just Flight, and I got a bit of a discount off that because I'd saved my pennies from previous Just Flight purchases. So anyway, like I say, we are in the Diamond DA42, the leading edge aviation DA42, of which you have seen quite a few times now, and this is the aircraft I'm going to be doing the flight plan in. So I'm probably going to cut this intro here, and you will join me again when we're sat basically on a taxiway waiting to go onto runway 07. Flight plan will be logged into the aircraft as well, so you'll be able to see that in the onboard navigation. Like I said, we're not paying too much attention to it. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to the video. We have just moved out onto the taxiway just in front of runway 07, and we're just about to do our engine run-up checks. Just checking the T's and P's. It's a particularly cold day out there, so it did take a while to get the engine all warmed up. So before you do an engine run-up test in the DA24, the really important temperature is your gearbox. You've got to get that into the green before you really should be doing an engine run-up. So I will just pull this back a bit so I can reach the little click spot, and we'll run through 2 engine run-ups. And run-up tests are complete. You will notice as well, or the eagle-eyed viewers will notice that in part 1 we wasn't running with any de-icing fluid. Didn't really need it, but seeing the temperatures are starting to get a bit cooler and we are heading towards northern England, I've started to add some de-icing liquid. So we have got de-icing gear on board the DA42. So let's get rid of that, don't need that anymore. So this is the route we'll be taking out. Obviously departing Newcastle, we'll be heading out towards the coast, heading up to Sierra Alpha Bravo, and then heading over to Charlie India 24, which will put us in towards runway 24 at Edinburgh. Standard rules will be flying, standard rules I should say, for flying over land will be autopiloted to 2,500 feet as we head out towards the coast, and we'll probably descend again once we get over the coast and over the water down to about 2,000 feet. So that should be all she wrote. So just doing last minute checks. So we are squawking on 7,000, which is correct, and squawking altitude, that is correct. Autopilot is set, warning screen is up, yes, route is set, T's and P's are correct, fuel pumps are on. Always like to put a bit of right rudder trim in. Just makes the airplane behave a little bit better. So we'll have landing lights now on, and we'll have strobe lights on. Oh, the taxi lights coming off, we don't need them now. So let's get part 2 underway. And this will be a flapless takeoff. We've got plenty enough runway here at Newcastle. So let's run them up. Airspeed's alive. There's 50. There's 60. 70 knots. 80 knots. Rotate. Tap the brakes, gear coming up. Gear is up, lights are out. So watching out for obstacles as we start our climb. The nearest obstacles will be those wind generators or wind turbines. That warning saying we are 1,000 feet underneath our designated altitude for the autopilot. Certainly a lot of wind turbines in this area. So let's start setting up the autopilot now. So autopilot on, heading on. Vertical speed to take us up to the 2,500. Landing lights are off, position lights are on, strobe lights are on, autopilot's flashing, that's correct. Don't need a warning page anymore. Tank set to crossfeed. And definitely another beautiful day. Start swinging our course over. So there we are. Everything running smoothly on part 2 of our Around the UK tour. So as always, I will probably cut the video here and I'll bring you back periodically as we start our northern leg up to Edinburgh. So I shall see you in a few minutes. So, welcome back everybody. We are just, I've just put a little nav map on the right hand side so you can see exactly where we are, but we are just passing the Northumberland Coast National Landscape and coastal town of Bednall. I'm not, this is the problem. I'm going to butcher some wonderfully placed named cities and towns. But there you are, we have descended back down to about 2,000 feet. And like I say, we are now bombing it up north, and well, everything seems to be going marvellous. We have got a bit of a tailwind. Little nav map is saying we've got a 24 knot tailwind, which, well, that's quite interesting. It's quite fast. That'll probably mean when we do come into land at Edinburgh, it's going to be a crosswind from left to right, if my maths is correct. And yeah, that could make the landing a little bit interesting. This aircraft does have a little bit of an ability to obviously, you know, shift in crosswinds like most aircraft do, really. It is quite light and still quite heavy at the same time. I would love to know what, and I'm going to use the word mountain that is over there. A little nav map just has it as some mountain range, hills, or whatever it is. I would love to know what that is, because I noticed it the last time I did this route on the practice run, and yeah, I wasn't able to work it out, but I think my map here actually does have it as, yeah, we're just starting to enter areas that would be at our altitude. For you that don't know, this option here, I can't remember exactly, it's a terrain option or something, with G1000s, and basically it reads the altitude of the aircraft and then obviously works out in different colours what landscape is close to our aircraft. So at the moment, black is it's absolutely nowhere near and probably sea level. Blue is obviously the sea. Green is perfectly capable to fly over. Yellow is there's the possibility of a warning of the land is coming up, hills and mountains and such like, and red is you really need to stay away from it. So we're at 2,000 feet and we do have a red peak, which are probably somewhere over there, which obviously is not a problem for us, but that's how you work out very quickly when things are about to get interesting. So like I said, I just thought I'd bring you back on this part, and yes, I will bring you back when we get a little bit closer to our destination. And welcome back. Little news update, we are just passing Berwick upon Tweed, which is Scottish and English. I'm sure I've just insulted some Scottish people there. So yeah, they're Berwick. I can never pronounce it. Like I say, I'm going to get some of these names completely and utterly wrong. So the flight plan has us, we'll be going to Sierra Alpha Bravo, which is a VOR station out on the coast. And then we'll be starting our run up into Edinburgh. So we won't be paying attention too much to the actual proper flight plan. We'll be flying to the right of the flight line when we get up to the VOR station. Now what's basically going to happen is we will, if I just bring this in a bit and zoom this in, as we hit Sierra Alpha Bravo, or just this coastline here, we will carry on going up the coast and enter towards Charlie India 24. Once we hit that, in fact I'll probably go on to the flight line, go onto a nav hold for the autopilot and bring us over, so we're onto the flight plan and heading towards Charlie India 24. Once we hit 24, we will be turned straight onto runway 24 as we head into Edinburgh. Now I have mentioned there is a bit of a crosswind at the moment. It's 25 knots and it's still a pretty much northerly wind, which could proceed to be a bit of an issue for us. I don't know what altitude. I mean, I'm running this off a little nav map at the moment, so I don't know what altitude that 25 knots is, but it could be at our altitude. So, like I say, it could be a bit of an issue for a bit of a crosswind for this aircraft. So we're still flying the coastline, and we will probably just cut over the middle bit of the coastline as we switch over to nav hold and go on to our final run into Edinburgh. So just thought I'll bring you back. Some definitely lovely scenery out here. It's a bit good weather, but so as soon as we get over land, we'll be hitting the turbulence. So yes, I'll bring you back in just a few moments. So welcome back. We have just started our turn in roughly towards our final destination. We are coming up on North Berwick, which is just passing 10 o'clock now to the aircraft. What we're going to do is going to fly up the coastline here, switch over, so we're going to dial the heading mode so that we're heading back towards our actual flight plan even, and then switch over to nav mode. We'll control our descent down, but we'll let the autopilot fly the aircraft until we're at Charlie India 24, which will put us on the direct route into Edinburgh runway 24. So that's the plan. Winds have come down to 23 knots. Currently we are at 137 knots ground speed, and we are doing 133 knots, 134 knots airspeed, so not too much difference there. I have noticed just before, well, just a few minutes ago, I was looking at the ocean, the state of the ocean, and there was a few white tops forming from obviously the winds, so I can assume that it is going to be a little bit of an interesting approach in, so we'll just start our turning now. So just looking at the ocean now, and it seems to have calmed down a little bit. Those white tops were back there, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Like I said, this aircraft handles quite well in conditions where there's a crosswind. Obviously with a twin engine setup you can alter some of the engines a little bit better than a single engine aircraft is when it comes to crosswind. But yeah, so yeah, it should be an interesting approach into Edinburgh. So I will come back to you when we hit Charlie India 24. So welcome back, and welcome to the last part as we are now starting our descent into Edinburgh Airport. We have passed Charlie India 24, and like I say, we are just starting our descent now. So I'm going to have landing lights on, fuel pumps are coming on, the heater heat is already on, tanks are in correct mode, autopilot still set, that's fine. We're holding up 1,700, and we're going to bring that down to 1,400. Wind speed has dropped to about 16 knots at the moment, so it is steadily coming down. So it shouldn't be that much of an issue for this aircraft to land. Runway is in sight. So autopilot's coming off. I have control. Stop remembering to look at the scenery, it's time to concentrate. Flaps one stage. Here coming down. Gear down, 3 green. Final checks, landing lights are on, flaps are on approach, gear down, 3 green. Tanks are correct. And fuel pumps are on. Flaps down to landing. Quite a bit of turbulence rocking the aircraft. Touchdown, Edinburgh. It's quite a long runway here. I do believe we'll be taking taxiway Charlie, I think it is. Charlie and Bravo, I believe, are the only turn-offs. I'm trying to remember the map now, but having looked at it before I did the flight. Ah, Bravo. So, flaps are selected up. Taxi lights are on, landing lights are off, strobe lights are off. Fuel pumps are off. So, we are now here at Edinburgh, and I will taxi back up. It's quite a bit of a trek on this airport. And yes, I will see you when we have parked up the Diamond DA42, and we'll discuss part 3 of the tour of the UK. So we have managed to park up here at Edinburgh Airport. Now this will be the end of part 2. I'm just trying to rack my brain cell as to where I'm going on part 3. I'm guessing somewhere in Scotland, but I haven't got a clue what it is. It might be one of the RAF bases. Can't remember. I'll have to have a look at that. Obviously, I will put a snippet of information up on the YouTube channel when I finally confirm exactly where it is I'm going. I do have a flight plan set up, and as I'm doing the flights, I'm trying to find more accurate scenery for all the airports that I'm going, airfields that I'm going to land at. So at the moment, we are running a payware. I forgot what company it is that run this one, but I managed to purchase this Edinburgh scenery. It's not bad scenery, it's very accurate. A little bit of a frame rate hit when you look at the terminal buildings, but it's not bad. Obviously missing all the aircraft, but we're not going to deal with air traffic or other aircraft. That's just too much to deal with. So yes, I will be doing that part probably next week now. I hope you're enjoying this series of videos. Obviously, like I said, part 2 didn't have the voice mod added to it. If you did miss that, if you want me to bring that back, and you know, I think it needs tweaking for sure. If you guys think it needs tweaking, let me know. Or if you actually did enjoy this without the voice mod, also let me know, because you know, I want to make this video experience a little bit more entertaining for you guys. I try to make it as realistic as I possibly can, but also I also know that obviously I'm not a pilot and I am sat at a computer desk and not in a cockpit of a DA42. So yes, I will see you guys and girls in part 3 of the Round the UK Tour 2024 very, very soon.